Today's morning show is being brought to you by
at Golden Nugget Laughlin. Experience a new kind of reward. Sign up for the 24 Karat Select Club today.
Well, good Monday morning to you all. Hope you had a wonderful, restful weekend. I know I did yesterday, certainly. It was, yay, NFL football all day. And we get to talk all about football and our picks. And, you know, the surprise that everybody gets a bonus game this week because of the tie that was in the NFL yesterday. But before we get to any of that, we're going to say good morning to Chad.
Good morning. I got to thinking, you know, why don't we just not keep score? Isn't that the going trend these days?
And here I am thinking we should have kept score with the Packers and Bears games because that would have helped you too.
It would have, because I totally would have picked the Packers. But I'm just saying, like, you know, like, the little kids don't keep score. Maybe NFL shouldn't either, and then everybody wins.
You believe in the participation trophy. Doesn't work that way.
I'm kidding.
Not while I'm here.
I do not feel that way at all. I think that it's important to learn competition and to be competitive to get where you want to go in life.
This is very true. And we're going to talk a little about that in a bit. There's an interesting story I found.
Oh my gosh, did you read the post I put on Facebook about the neighbors not talking to me anymore?
No.
Oh, it's a funny little, it's not a true story, but it's a funny story that makes perfect sense in our world.
Oh,
maybe I'll
wow.
read it.
I can't imagine anyone not wanting to talk to you, Chad.
Well, not me specifically.
I'm like, here I am thinking he's dishing a personal story. Moving on. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Sorry, we were getting, we had to turn on our lights on back here. So good morning.
Yeah, that would be something you need to do.
Yeah, I know.
Oh gosh, we don't want to pan to a black room or an empty chair again.
Oh no.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, we missed you on Saturday, you know.
Oh, I know. It sounded fun though.
It did, and we're going to get right to that because everybody's wondering, what could we possibly be talking about? Well, Chad, Chris, and I went on a little excursion on Saturday, and we said...
It's funny we went on an excursion.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Everybody, yes, now you know, Chris drives an excursion.
License plate number, just kidding.
So anyway, we took a trip up to Searchlight, and we wanted to check out the health fair that Clark County Commissioner Michael Naft arranged, and it was impressive. Wouldn't you agree?
I would absolutely agree. We got to take advantage of some of the booths and everything there. And I do have to say, because this is my first time actually spending much time with him, having a conversation, and he is a very nice guy, and he's living up to what he promised.
Right, and that speaks volumes for a person when they followed through on their commitments, and
yeah,
we were very impressed. And Chris, what were your thoughts?
Oh, sorry, I got busy again. It was actually really neat. No, there was some of the neat little programs they had for families I thought were really neat. Through I don't know if you got to see the parts where they were for kids that don't have helmets and booster seats, all that kind of stuff. I thought that was really nice of them too.
That was, and of course they provided the booster seats and the helmets free of charge for those who came up and needed them. And I have to admit that I never really spent much time in Searchlight. It's kind of a place that you pass on through, and some of the folks who had come down, University Medical Center, CVS was there. There were all different health organizations, the Southern Nevada Health District. Who else was there?
At UMC,
Yeah, and
University Medical Center.
who else?
Clark
Clark County, obviously.
Clark County School District.
The RTC, they had
Yes.
a little booth set up. But you know what some of the folks were saying is that, unfortunately, people do view Searchlight as just a stop on the way to Vegas if you're headed north, or to here if you're headed south. And it's tough for some of the folks who live there to get out and get a mammogram. They had a mammo van there, so folks could take advantage of that. And they had vision screenings. These are minor things you don't really think of that have huge implications on your overall health. If you are having trouble seeing, maybe you have difficulties getting to an optometrist in either Henderson or Vegas or in Bullhead City when you're kind of stuck in the middle in that rural area. So to bring all of those things, it was really, really something. And I know that we enjoyed it, and we actually did something else, did we not, while we were there?
Yes.
So you remember our Labor Day special where we learned that your membership at the Colorado River Historical Society Museum would also grant you entrance into 6 other museums.
6 others, yes.
And there were 3 in Kingman, 1 in Needles, 1 in Searchlight, and 1 in Lake Havasu.
Correct.
Yes.
You got them. Nice job.
And we hope to go to all of them at some point, but we get to see Searchlight, and I was fascinated.
I thought, this time we actually had a tour guide go through with us, and I thought she did an incredible job. Knew just so much about the area.
Yes, her name is Mrs. Jane Overy, and apparently she is the founder of this museum, which she...
Of the entire center, actually.
Yes, and she told us that it's actually part of the Clark County Museum
Yes, it's
district.
their first satellite, I believe.
Their
she called it.
satellite location. But I had no idea there was so much history.
No,
there.
no, and it surprised me how big tennis was to that community back in the day.
Yeah, I know. We don't want to give away our whole little feature, but they had tennis courts, and they had them early in Searchlight. And I did know this fact, and I just wanted to clarify if I hadn't been given the correct information. I asked Mrs. Overy if it was indeed true that at one time the population of Searchlight surpassed that of Las Vegas. And guess what? Indeed it did. There were 1,500 people living there, I think in 1909.
Yeah, I believe that's what she said.
And they wanted to make Searchlight the county seat. Could you imagine how different things would be?
I mean, if you think about it, like Carson City, you wouldn't think of that as being the capital of Nevada.
Right.
So, I mean...
Things change.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could see how they could stay the same because of other reasons, but I could totally see how they could be different as well.
Yeah. Well, if you watch some of the movies, you'll see that it was like, it was just a vast desert before Bugsy Siegel came and made that desert oasis there, that adult playground. But anyway, we had fun doing that. And did you do anything else this weekend?
I did. Well, okay, so I made some of that broccoli, and it was pretty good. It was excellent. It was perfect. I got a bag of goodie vegetables like broccoli, and I made the squash and the zucchini too. And it was my first time making squash and zucchini, so I wasn't so much happy with it, but my friends said it was pretty good. But
well,
I've been learning because I've never made it before.
I'm sure it was delicious. I also cooked. I took advantage of those fresh carrots. And, okay, forgive me. I am from New England. Football equates to fall. I'm still having difficulty with watching NFL games at 10 a.m. It's very bizarre
That's
to me.
funny. I forgot about that.
And it's also very bizarre to me to have triple degree temperatures outside while football is on. So you know what I did?
What'd you do?
I'm not kidding you. I actually took pictures of this.
Oh.
I wore a long sleeve football shirt, and I made chicken soup.
Oh my gosh, how did it make you feel all homely and
Yeah, I did. I made homemade chicken soup, and I wore
What was
a
it,
long
6'9" inside?
I know.
to blast the air?
I know, exactly. As I'm looking outside my porch at everybody in their bathing suits going down to the
And
pool.
the heat waves coming off of the surface.
I know. But, old habits die hard. I'm sorry, folks. Football, fall. Hey, the temperatures are going down this week, though.
I totally thought you were going to say something about football and food, and I was like, oh, I'm totally into that too.
Well, next weekend, you're all invited.
Okay.
Maybe I'll even bake.
Oh, I mean, aside from the going to the museum and stuff, I also went out a little bit and flew my drone some.
Oh, good.
And because, Joe, Chris, and I one day were talking about the river and the undercurrent and how deep our river is. And there's a video saved over there, you guys, on Opinion, TMS videos.
Okay.
It starts with a P and then a bunch of numbers.
Okay.
But it's a pretty cool video that I shot just of my drone, like looking straight down at the park going into the water. So you can kind of see the different depths, and I think it's pretty cool.
I bet it is.
Here we go. It's going to be just a little bit further. There we go.
Those are pretty drone shots.
I know, it was cool watching it like zoom up and start looking down.
So you can see the bottom right
Yes,
there.
right there. You can see the bottom. And I didn't do the best job getting far enough out there, but I used a flight plan.
But
But you can see at the very far right in the corner,
There's a drop.
yeah.
Yes, and thank you for showing this, because you can see how, unfortunately, our river, while it's absolutely beautiful, can be extremely dangerous. And that is a fast-moving current.
It is. And I've always thought, as far as this river goes, that the most incredible thing about it is how far down you can see in any given spot. I've never been around a river so clear.
It really is. And fortunately, I don't see any snakes. Like, somebody posted a video like, oh,
There we
look
go.
at
You were
this.
getting a good view of the. Now, I thought I saw some fish in there, but I was watching on a small screen, so it could have just been the sun reflecting on the water.
Oh, there's fish down there, and there's turtles too. I've swam with them. It's a weird experience. The first time I saw a turtle, that was an experience.
Well, look at that. I mean, you can see how, now that's depth right there.
Yes.
That's deep, yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, you have to realize that it's going to be deep with all of the water traffic we have there.
Absolutely. And that's just over by, not community, Rotary Park. And I mean, as deep as it is, you can still see quite a ways down.
Yeah.
And so I did that over the weekend, and I made pork tenderloin. I have a special recipe. I make a pork tenderloin, and I tried to save some to bring it in, but like people got into it after I was done, like letting them eat. They still got more. But I take pork tenderloin and I wrap it in bacon, and I season it, and I put brown sugar on it and mandarin oranges, and then I bake it for a long time so it's real tender.
Pork tenderloin wrapped in bacon.
Yes.
That's every, I don't know, pork lover's dream, right?
Here's dream.
Hey, but anyway, so it bakes for a long period of time, and then once it's nice and cooked and tender, you open it up and let it brown across and finish cooking
Sounds delicious.
to make the bacon crunchy. And oh, it came out good. I made it twice this weekend.
Oh, wow.
It takes a while, and it's kind of like a lot of work sometimes, but
Oh, I bet.
it was worth it.
So, I don't know if you've been following national news. Of course, most of you do. But this week, there were scheduled peace talks between the president and the Taliban. And this didn't sit well with a lot of people, including members of the Republican Party, saying, probably not the best time to do this the week of 9/11. And they wanted to have these peace talks at Camp David. Well, as of this morning, they've been called off. So there's that going on. But yeah, the president was getting a little bit of heat for that. And I guess, that good foresight on his part to not go through with that, especially during this week. But then again, as we know in the media, It wouldn't matter if it were Christmas or July 2nd or May 4th. There would be something wrong with whatever time the president chose to try to sit down with folks, right? Because no one's ever
Well,
pleased
yes,
with anything. So,
that's funny.
oh, you know
So,
what?
I mean, since we're talking politics, can I read this little story real
Yeah,
quick?
sure.
Again, it is not a true story based on my life. It's just something somebody had shared, and I decided to share it as well. Let me just there it is. My neighbors aren't speaking to me anymore recently. While I was working in the flower bed in the front yard, my neighbor stopped to chat as they returned from walking their dog. During our friendly conversation, I asked the little girl what she wanted to be when she grew up. She said she wanted to be president someday. Both her parents, Democrat Party members, were standing there, so I asked her, if you were president, what would be the first thing you would do? She replied, I'd give food and houses to all of the homeless people. Her parents beamed with pride. I got a little pop-up, sorry. Beamed with pride. Wow, what a worthy goal, I said. But you don't have to wait until you're the president to do that. What do you mean, she replied. So I told her, you can come over to my house and mow the lawn, pull the weeds, and trim the hedge, and I'll pay you $50. Then you can go over to the grocery store where the homeless guy hangs out, and you can give him the $50 to use toward food and a new house. She thought over for a few seconds and looked at me straight in the eye and asked, why doesn't the homeless guy just come over and do the work, and you can pay him the $50? I said, welcome to the Republican Party. Her parents aren't speaking to me anymore.
Oh, that's cute.
I thought
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, you know what else? Since we're doing politics, well, let's switch over to the Democratic side of things, because you know they have a big debate coming up on the 12th. So toward the end of the week, right? Today's the 9th. Yeah. I had to double check. I had to look down at the monitor. Forget sometimes. But of course, as you know, in order to get on the stage, you had to reach at least 2%. And you know who did?
Who?
A surprise to many. Andrew Yang.
Oh.
And they're saying that this guy is so cool. I don't know if you guys can find this and pull this up, but at an event this past weekend in Southern California, he decided to crowd surf.
No way.
I heard about
That's
this.
incredible.
Yeah. So he's really drawing a big buzz. Kind of like Beto O'Rourke did at the beginning, you know, except Yang doesn't have as, I guess, out there ideas.
Wow, what a rock star.
Right? Yeah. So,
Oh my gosh, she's so close to the roof. Did you see that?
I did see that. I did. That's funny. But, yeah, so he's got a lot of buzz going on. And
I mean, if you want to get attention, that's the way to do it, right?
well, they have to do something. You have to in a field like that. Even the biggest pundits on the morning news shows will tell you have to do something to stand out, because if not, you're just like the other 16 of them. How many
Or
are there
27,
now? I don't
30.
know. I don't know. A few
Millions.
dropped out, right? So it always. I guess it's a little perplexing to me as to why you would do that. Is it just to gain more notoriety for yourself to say you're running for president? I mean, because obviously some of these people are going to make laughing stocks of themselves when it comes to the actual
Race.
well, before you even get that far to the convention, when they actually elect a nominee, you're not,
Oh, yeah.
you know, you're really not on their radar. But
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And now I realize what you're saying. It took me a minute. And
so do they do it just for name recognition, so that in future or subsequent races people will know who they are, or are they just really passionate about something?
well, you remember Bob the plumber, right?
Yeah, Joe
And
the plumber.
Joe the plumber. Thank you. Sorry, he ended up running and or trying to run or whatever you want to call it, and he didn't make it through, but
People
was,
remembered
yes.
who Joe the plumber was.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know, but
So I would say a little bit of notoriety. If you had the opportunity to run for president, and
I wouldn't.
I don't think I would either.
No.
'Cause I mean, I wouldn't want to not be elected if I was running, but
Yeah.
I don't think I would be elected, so I wouldn't run.
Right. So, and that's what I think most people are of that mindset. Like, I know I'm not going to be elected. Or do some have very...
Delusions of grandeur.
Delusions of grandeur. You know what was interesting last week? I watched New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio on Tucker Carlson, and Tucker thanked him for having the fortitude to come on to the show. And do you know, I actually sat through that interview and I wasn't cringing, because normally anything to do, I hate to say this, but anything that Bill de Blasio does kind of makes my skin crawl. But, well, many people feel that way.
Agreed.
And whether they live in New York City, have lived in New York City, or they just have seen some of his policies, and especially when it comes to policing. Yeah, he actually was very coherent, you know, and he and Tucker agreed on certain things, and it was nice to see a amicable, I guess, conversation between the two of them, and I give him credit for.
I'm surprised that he went on the show, period, too, and so it was
I give
interesting to hear
anybody
about
credit
that.
for going on his show.
And maybe that's
He's
the only
tough.
reason why I did it, is for the brownie points.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It was interesting. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I have a new use for a toaster, if you want to see it. It's a picture that I sent to the guys in back. It's in my folder.
A new use for a toaster.
Yes, it's an incredible use for a toaster that I would have never thought of. Do you guys have it?
Yeah, we're waiting.
Okay.
Okay, it's an incredible use for a toaster, and I would have never thought of it, but I'm totally going to try it one
Okay.
day. Can we see?
Apparently, you can reheat pizza by turning your toaster on its side. You're welcome. No way.
You put the pizza in the
I
toaster,
see that.
and it becomes a pizza oven.
Oh.
And it totally, I
That's-
bet, works. It looks like it
Okay,
does.
it sounds like you've just changed the lives of two people back there.
They're with me.
We've all seen those photos on like Facebook. It says, "Did you know this could happen? What age did you find this out?"
Yeah, and I'm always like, today.
Hey,
That'd be now.
Chris, I have been showing so many people that pepper trick that you showed me.
Oh, I know. I forgot. I completely forgot about that one.
I use it all the time, every time I use pepper.
Pepper trick.
It was life-changing.
I know.
Oh, on the bottom of a pepper shaker, there is bumps, and the salt shaker has them too. And if you take the salt and go over it with the on the bottom of the pepper, it'll come out a lot faster.
You rub
Instead of
the two
having
bottoms.
to sit there and shake it,
Oh,
the bumping
the
and
notches
friction.
in it,
Okay.
yeah.
all right. Well, see, you learn something new every day. Hey, I heard a really, really great story this morning, a feel-good story. So, a little boy in Florida went to school on college color days wearing a t-shirt that he made himself because his favorite school was the University of Tennessee, and he didn't have any UT wear, so he took a plain orange t-shirt and he drew UT, a logo, and he pinned it to his shirt. And his teacher, who shared the story that you'll hear what happened, this teacher said that when the little boy came in, he was so excited and he couldn't wait to show his classmates, like, oh, look what I did, you know, because Tennessee's my favorite school. And he was absolutely devastated. She said it broke her heart because he was bullied all day and the kids picked on him and made fun of him and nobody would even sit with him at lunch. So she went into action. Her name was Snyder, I believe, Miss Snyder. And she reached out. She was going to buy him an actual UT, University of Tennessee shirt, but she wanted something a little more, I guess, special for him because she was brokenhearted to see the way this child was treated. So she reached out to some friends who had contacts at the University of Tennessee, and you knew this was coming. The university responded by sending the young man a box full of swag, you know, and t-shirts and everything. Now this, what you see right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the extra step that the university took. They took his hand-drawn UT logo, put it on a t-shirt, made it an official shirt that they sold on their college campus and on their website, and it sold out within hours. They said they couldn't keep them on the shelves, and the proceeds from that t-shirt are going to fund an anti-bullying organization. And the teacher said that his jaw literally dropped
I
when
believe it.
he saw that they thought that much of his logo to make it an official t-shirt, so it erased all of that nastiness that he'd experienced last week. But that's just a really sweet story.
I thought it was incredible. The only thing I would have liked to have seen done differently is that would have been a great opportunity for them to create like a scholarship or in his name and make him the first recipient of it or something with the funds.
I agree.
There's a lot of anti-bullying stuff, but if he couldn't afford to buy the t-shirt, that would have been a great way to give him some security for his future.
Oh, you know what? That's a wonderful idea. Yeah, because I mean it was his design, and you're right. That would have been a great thing to do. And who knows? Maybe I think there's a bright future ahead for this little boy.
Yeah.
So now we hear stories about bullying a lot, right? I mean, it seems like everyone nowadays is being bullied, whether they're an adult, and it sounds so weird to hear an adult, I'm sorry, like, oh, I was bullied at work. Doesn't that sound like...
It does, and there are circumstances where it's justified, but most of them, I think it's people being overly sensitive and looking for the wrong kind of attention.
Yeah, I mean, you're an adult. You want to say stand up for yourself or go to the teacher, proper authority or your boss or whoever it is, and don't like whine and say, oh, I'm being bullied, and go on social media and say I'm being bullied at work, because you sound kind of infantile.
Well, and social media isn't necessarily the best place to go to handle a situation like that. It's just trying to bring attention to yourself instead of the situation.
So, of course, that gives credence to what you just said, that you're seeking attention when you're doing it that way, right?
Yes.
And that's not to say that people are not bullied at work. Of course they are. Or in, adult environments, they are. But to say, it just sounds weird.
I think the term is very, very much
overused.
Yes.
Okay, so then you'll probably agree with me on this one. I heard a story driving in this morning about a 3-year-old being bullied. Thoughts?
How old was the bully?
3.
Wow. I mean, you want me to say what I was saying earlier?
Yeah.
I agree with what we were discussing, and I don't think that a 3-year-old is really capable of bullying, what I consider bullying. They're roughhousing, yes, absolutely. They're probably playing around and got too rough, not knowing how to control themselves or the situation, and got overexcited. But I think it would be very difficult to convince me that a 3-year-old was bullying another 3-year-old.
Yes. So, I mean, this child was physically harmed by this other child, and that happens in daycares, that happens in schools. When you're talking about, I mean, for lack of a better word, toddlers, right? I mean, 3 years old. And this little girl had a black eye, and they sent in Batman, somebody dressed as Batman to save the day and teach the kids about not bullying. I mean, I think it's great in elementary school. I think that, of course, when you think about bullies, that's what I think of. I think of a 7-8-year-old kid, the kid in the schoolyard who's kicking another kid or calling him names or something. But when you have little children like that, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's where you just say no, like you don't hit somebody. I don't know if a 3-year-old can grasp that whole concept.
Well, the first 5 years of a child's life, and sometimes they even say the first 3 years, is the most development that their brain will do their entire lives in that short period of time. That's when they're learning how to communicate. That's when they're learning how to be people, and that's where they're becoming self-aware more than they were as an infant or a baby. And one, yes, that's a great time to teach them how to control themselves and control their strength. But to say that they have the capacity at 3 years old where they're still learning to form complete sentences,
right?
Saying that they're capable of bullying, I think that's overboard. I think it's...
Yeah, and so again, I wonder if that's just something that we feel that the term bully has been overused.
Yeah,
How do
share
you
your
feel?
thoughts.
Yeah. So, share our thoughts. When are we going to go into football? Because I really want to share my thoughts on football.
Oh, God. I thought we were just going to skip it today.
We are not.
Oh.
Do you want to do football now?
Well, should we do weather and then a break and then come back into football?
He doesn't want to do football. That's what it is. Yes, we are. We're actually going to take a look at the weather, and those temperatures better be going down.
Like I can control this. Alrighty. Yesterday, the official high in Laughlin and Bullhead City was 101 degrees. Kingman and Searchlight got up to 89, and this morning we had a low of 100 degrees. That's not low at all. A low in triple digits.
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking that's a mistake.
Alrighty, around the area today, we're looking at a high in Las Vegas of 98. Flagstaff will get up to 73. Phoenix will reach 98. Los Angeles will reach 80. And now I'm starting to think the low was not accurate because we have a high today of 98 degrees. I have it right here though, and it says actually our high today is expected to be 101. So yeah, I don't think that the low was very accurate. But looking at Mesquite, we have a high of 98. 87 in Searchlight and Kingman. Prescott will get up to 78, and Lake Havasu City will reach 100 degrees. And it still looks like we're getting, in the southern part of the state, we have a few specks of green for moisture in the sky. I know in our area we have 22% humidity today and 29% tonight.
And we have a red flag warning
A red flag warning of,
for the excessive fire danger. So
okay, gotcha.
yes, and it is active right now because the winds are going to pick up a little bit. And let me just say it one more time. Do not throw lit cigarettes out of your window. I mean, there are a number of other things you shouldn't do, but please do not do it because I saw it happen again on Saturday. And it infuriates me.
I see it at nighttime because it's more noticeable, but yeah, same situation. Also, don't drag chains or anything.
Right, exactly. So red flag warning is in effect. Okay, so you killed the music. Does that mean we're going into football or are we going into a break?
No, we have to go into a break.
All right. Okay. We will be right back with your NFL picks. So many of you did so well.
Some of us didn't.
We'll be right back after this.
Segment of the morning show is brought to you by Fort Mojave Dental, the best place for the best smile in the tri-state area. Kind and caring staff will help you feel better about your smile. Call them today at 928-758-8887 or check them out online at sugarbug.com.
Don Laughlin's Riverside Resort is proud to present Breakdown, tribute to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, August 28th through September 1st. This award-winning show is one of the finest tribute shows on the planet. Enjoy the magical experience of Tom Petty in concert, recreated by this amazing show. Breakdown, tribute to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, August 28th through September 1st. Tickets on sale now. Call 800-227-3849 or online at riversideresort.com.
Mary and Shirley both need oxygen. Shirley lost her freedom the day she went on oxygen, but Mary has the ultra-compact Inogen 1 G4 oxygen concentrator from Inogen. It's the smallest and lightest model we've ever made, so she'll always have the oxygen she needs anytime, anywhere. The sooner you call, the sooner you can reclaim the freedom and independence you deserve. Call now for your 30-day risk-free trial.
Call 800-371-3730. That's 800-371-3730.
Mojave Skin and Cancer in Laughlin and Bullhead City, serving our area since 1987. You don't have to be a sun worshiper to suffer from skin cancer. That's why it's important to see Dr. Dulot or any one of his associates regularly. You may not recognize the first signs of skin cancer. Mojave Skin and Cancer does. See them at 3650 South Point Circle, Suite 106 in Laughlin, and 2350 Miracle Mile Road in the Riverview Mall in Bullhead City.
Don Laughlin's Riverside Resort is proud to present Queen of the Night, Remembering Whitney, September 11th through 15th. Trina Johnson Finn will wow you with the essence and persona of Whitney Houston in this exhilarating and amazing concert performance. Join us for an incredible night of music with Queen of the Night, Remembering Whitney, September 11th through 15th. Tickets on sale now. Call 800-227-3849 or online at riversideresort.com.
And it's time for TV2's NFL football picks, which are brought to you by Electrum Internet and Bikini Bay Bar and Nightclub. And this is one of my all-time favorite things to do here on the show. So let's get started. Now,
I might go on break real quick.
Our games from last week, if you'll recall. Which one are we pulling up first?
They're all going to be in order.
Okay. So the Lions and the Cardinals, and this is where we throw out our disclaimer. First we'll show who everyone chose. Okay, so the boys here went with the hometown pride, and everybody else, we're all winners. Yes, yay. So we decided to give everyone the W. I thought we were all going to take a loss, right? And the boys were like, no, why don't we give everyone the point? Because technically
they both won.
Right, you didn't lose. So that will count, ladies and gentlemen. If there's a tie, it will count as a win. And I think we did do that last season as well. Now that game, I was happy, I guess, that the Cardinals were able to come back for the hometown pride reason, and that I didn't lose a point, so they tied. I mean, this is the best possible outcome. But the Lions were in complete control of that game, and then Arizona had this epic fourth
quarter, I know.
comeback. It was. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
It was absolutely amazing, and I think that Larry Fitzgerald is just such a class act and one of the best players ever in this league. He's just a great person. So good for the Cardinals, and bad for the Lions to blow a lead like that, but they weren't alone yesterday. Okay, moving on. Oh, speaking of leads, yes, like the Redskins were dominating this game. But first we'll take a look at the picks. And okay, so we're all winners here. If you watched the game, you probably were getting a little nervous when the Redskins jumped out to, I think it was a 17-0 lead, and then the Eagles came storming back. So there we go.
Oh.
Okay. Rams and Panthers. Now I did not see this game, so let's look at pretty So you see me over
Yes,
there on
we
the
see
winning
you,
side.
I'm so
Fans.
With
disappointed in the
Bikini
Panthers.
Bay and the fans, of course. I mean, 81% of the fans. You guys had to know you were in trouble, right? I mean,
Okay, we did.
no, actually, I saw just teeny tiny highlights of it, and it was a very hard fought win for the Rams, but a win nonetheless. Moving on.
And it was only a 3-point difference, so it could have been anybody's game.
Now, this game really, really surprised me, I have to say.
It was close.
It was, yes. And let's take a look at, okay, Chad,
Chad was so close getting that win.
so close. In fact, I was watching this on the NFL app, and I kept refreshing, like to see which down they were on, because they were driving. And the Bengals, I mean, this very easily could have been your silver lining.
It could have been.
It could have been. The Bengals, wow, they played the Seahawks tough yesterday, and but we all got the W, except Chad.
Okay.
But, okay. I'm teasing.
I know. I'm not taking it personal. I'm
Okay.
just acting.
Okay, so the Chiefs and Jags. What did we have? Joe standing alone.
First NFL pick
First one.
of the year, yeah.
And I'll have you know, ladies and
I won't.
gentlemen, he said yesterday, I will never pick the Jags again. You know, well, what is not funny with the Jags is that they actually lost their quarterback for maybe the season. He broke his clavicle in the first quarter, and they were playing a pretty decent game, but the Chiefs, that Mahomes, I'm telling you, a force to be reckoned with. And Sammy Watkins, I think he had 200 yards yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In one game?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Chiefs they look good. They look good. Not as good as my Patriots, but they look good. Okay, so the Titans and the Browns. This was my big shock of the week. Let's review everyone's picks. Okay, so Chad?
Oh, I guess I have some bragging to do right here.
You do.
Yeah.
And the
this
professor.
was an incredible difference in score.
It was, and let me tell you, Cleveland fans left the game in the fourth quarter. There's
Too
10
much
minutes
hype.
left in the game, and too much hype. That's exactly what it was. And their young quarterback there, Baker Mayfield, he threw 3 picks, I believe. And obviously, the defense didn't show up. So, not to take anything away from the Titans, they're a tough team. Sure they are. But, to see that disparity, got a long way ahead, Browns.
Yeah.
For the first time in my life, I was on the opposite side of Big Blue, and with good reason.
With good reason.
Yes. And, of course, the Cowboys easily handled the Giants, who their defense was hapless. And Dak Prescott, he looked really good, and the Cowboys, they took care of Big Blue.
I wasn't expecting this, we'll just say that. Otherwise, I would have picked the Cowboys, obviously, but...
Yeah, no. And it was at Dallas, so I don't know why there was that issue last week where it's like, really, they're playing in New York? But no, they played in Dallas. But anyway. Wow, we have a lot of 6-1 fans, huh?
I couldn't get them all on this list, but don't worry. Like we said, this year we're keeping track of every single one this year. So
Did we have any 7-0?
We did actually.
Do we want to?
Because I think we should just have the 7-0, because now we're going to have people feeling bad, because we had a lot more than that. I thought that it was 6-1. All right. Oh, look at this.
Mr.
We have
Bruce.
locals.
He was actually just talking to me too. We were chatting back and forth.
Really?
Yes.
Well, congratulations
Way to
to
go
our
on your
undefeated
picks.
fans.
Oh.
Okay. So
Oh, look what. Okay, Chris was talking about how he didn't. Anyway, we all three got the same score, Chris.
Oh yeah, you're right. Jokers chat, and then you got
And that puts us in last place.
the
tied.
fans,
Bikini Bay.
Bikini, Tara, and yeah. So you guys are top 3 right now.
yeah.
With Electrum and Professor.
Oh,
in
but it's
between.
such a long season. Such a long season, full of surprises. And of course, our football picks are brought to you by Electrum Internet and Bikini Bay. Bikini Bay, that's up there with the winners like me. Just kidding. Oh, so when are we going to pick? Are we going to pick now?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
you
need to
have
pick
to.
now. I think.
Oh, I guess we do. But can I just mention, everyone, that the New England Patriots won last night 33-3 in a very surprising, shocking game that I never expected to see that happen. And now Antonio Brown is a member of the New England Patriots. I don't know what happened to the Steelers last night. I'm sorry. I know there are a lot of Steeler fans out there, but I'm sure that they will shape up for the next game, because the Patriots just shocked me. I mean, they're good, but they manhandled the Steelers. And then
Careful now with the Steelers.
well, I'm telling you, that's what happened. And the Steelers need to really worry about the Baltimore Ravens, who destroyed Miami 59-10 yesterday. Cincinnati looked pretty good, and the Browns, well, they disappointed. So I'm thinking that the Ravens are always going to give the Steelers something. All right, yeah, I know. You won't tell me to get on with it, but all right.
But that was so
Okay,
Joe's.
so our-
That was all Joe.
I feel like it was an accident when you just opened up the.
I thought you were gonna pull one right then and there.
We should just do a whole football show. You know what? That's what I'm going to do, and I won't subject any of you.
I'm
to that.
finding it
I'm
very
fine,
informative.
but-
Okay,
enjoy
ready? Here are our games for this week. They better be
Okay.
good. Game number 1. Oh, the Cardinals and the Ravens.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
snap.
That's the Steelers and the Seahawks.
Oh.
Vikings and the Packers. A lot of you snowbirds. That's definitely a game that you'll be interested in. The Chiefs and the Raiders. These are good games.
Yeah.
The Giants and the Bills.
Okay.
New York bragging rights.
Oh.
The Patriots and the Dolphins.
Well, I bet I can guess who you're going to pick on that one.
I bet
Dolphins.
if I don't see 99.9% of the fans picking one way on that one. Okay, this is the last game, right?
You're the one that has.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I didn't count.
Oh my God! Somebody has to pay attention to this stuff. Yes, this is the last game.
Okay.
Okay.
The Jaguars and the Texans.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And there's your football picks.
Yes, and they will be up on our Facebook page, right, and our website.
All over.
Guys, you're gonna help me out here.
Yeah, they'll be on
available
Facebook and our website. You will have a link to get to the. Both Facebook and our website will have a link that gets you to the football picks, and you can vote in about an hour.
You'll see this logo on our website.
Okay, and you know what I'm going to do with these? I'm not going to crumple them up and throw
Please
them
don't.
away like I did last week, and Chris was like, what about my game? So I'm going to put them over here. Okay?
Hey.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, and put this down here. Okay, and that's it. So those are the games. And I think that we will probably see some movement in the standings because some of those games are going to be tough calls. But you know what we have to do? Actually, we have to head into a quick break. And we will be right back with more of the morning show.
Our second look at weather is brought to you by First Call Restoration Water and Fire Damage Experts with exceptional customer service. Now offering carpet, upholstery, tile, and grout cleaning services. Second look at weather was brought to you by First Call Restoration Water and Fire Damage Experts with exceptional customer service. Now offering carpet, upholstery, tile, and grout cleaning services.
Today's morning show is brought to you by Hospice Compassus. At the heart of who we are stands compassion, integrity, and excellence. Call Hospice Compassus for more information.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, this may be the most important phone call you'll ever make.
I owed $87,000 in taxes. But listen.
Your tax problem is settled. You only owe $3,500.
What a great message.
I owed $11,000 on my taxes. But now...
Congratulations. You only owe $2,068.
How's that sound?
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, then you owe it to yourself to call this number or go to tax10000.com. Even if you are already at the point where you're struggling with levies and garnishments, let our experts help guide you through the process of negotiating a tax settlement.
We owe the IRS $48,000.
But check out what we actually paid.
Are you sitting down, you only owe $3,571.
Call 800-219-1086 or go to text10000.com. That's 800-219-1086.
This segment of the morning show is brought to you by All Wellness Medical Center, now open for all your wellness needs. Located on Canyon Road off the Bullhead Parkway. Make an appointment today.
Welcome back once again. Oh, speaking of football, you know what we didn't mention? I mean, we mentioned that it was taking place, but the Golden Shovel game. And the Lake Havasu Knights came out victorious over the Mojave Thunderbirds. So I'm sorry about that, Chris.
It was a great game, though. It went really well. Just there's a couple times.
What, you saw it?
Yeah, it was really good. Well, and then this time I actually went just to watch versus working. So Grandpa and I went up to the VIP, relaxed, and watched the game. The VIP area up top is really nice, by the way.
Makes a big difference, right?
Yeah, what was really nice is, you got all the kids cheering. They're not in your ears. There's no one behind you. It's really relaxing up there. So for anyone that wants to have a relaxing game, get them, because they sell out quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, again, it's amazing to not have to withstand triple-degree heat.
Oh, I know, the temperature.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what the temperature is. It feels like it's inside a house, 76, 77, I would say.
They keep it very comfortable.
They do.
Not too warm, not too cold, and just right so that players don't cramp up. So.
You know what else they call that?
What's that?
The Goldilocks zone.
That's right.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, that's what they call planets that can sustain liquid without it evaporating or freezing, which they're discovering more and more all the time, and that's one of my favorite subjects to look into.
Our science buff, our resident astronomy buff.
There we go. At least you didn't say astrology.
No, I know the difference. No. Chris, you were telling me that you had something back there?
Well, I got two things. This one I just found during the show. They're both good. I'll tell you both of them. The first one is we remember this, the Walkman, right? It's a great classic. The future of listening to the music on the go. Well, they decided for the 40th anniversary, Sony decided to bring it back as a special edition, and I want to ask you guys what you think the value of this is going to cost to buy one.
It's an MP3 player that looks like the old ones?
Yeah, but what do you think they priced it at? How much?
$120.
Is it solid gold?
It's like a aluminum finish, I guess.
Then it shouldn't really be that much.
Exactly, but I'm sure they overpriced it.
It's gonna cost you $3,000.
What?
That is ridiculous.
Yep, you can Google it. Yeah, $3,000 on Amazon.
Get one of those old iPods, honestly.
Yeah, why would you? I mean,
iPod, whatever.
Why buy something extra when your phone does all the same stuff?
Exactly.
Right. I'm sure that people who have that kind of disposable income will buy it to be cool, but that's such a waste of money. You know how many people you could feed with that money? That's just silly.
I mean, if I were to buy it for $3,000, it better print out gold.
Right. Better feed me.
Or money or something.
Oh my gosh! Wow, I can't believe 40 years of the Walkman.
And then here's another great one. So this gentleman, he wrote, it's really long, I'll shorten this up. So he got his driver's license renewed, and when he did, he got a cat signature on his driver's license, and they let him do it. Well, 3 years later after pulling this prank, he had to sign all his mortgage papers in his brand new house he bought 30 times. He had to sign cat signatures 30 times.
That's hilarious. I bet he learned his lesson.
I know. I'm like, serves him right.
And he said it was funny because the real estate agent just couldn't stop laughing and didn't think this was legit and asked for a driver's license, and then that's when the whole story came out.
That's funny. That is really funny.
I mean, but you have to think, how many times has your signature personally changed? Like since?
Oh, I just draw a line sometimes, like literally just scribble a line like
No,
that.
I have I have two signatures. I have my initial type signature, which is when I'm in a hurry or I have to sign a bunch of stuff, and then I have my full name signature for legal documents.
Right. I think that's probably what I do. Mine's just turned into like a T in a line. but my
You know who did
that's
that?
my official
Will Smith. Every 5 years, he changes his signature. So he knows what year he signed. So if you're like a real fan and you come up to him, he'll know he signed that 10 years ago because his signature was different. Did you know that?
No.
No, that's kind of cool though.
Yeah.
But you know what? Ruby Red or whatever his name is from Fifth Element, the pop star guy, he would just take a piece of paintbrush and just slide it along everybody's stuff and call that his signature.
Oh, that's so.
If you were a Fifth Element fan like I am, you would totally get it.
Yeah.
Obviously not.
I'm not.
The movie's wild.
It's it's one of my favorites.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say number one.
No, Bruce Willis and Mila Jovovich are two of my favorite action stars. So, and they're both in it.
Oh. Okay. Hey, do you have any plans to see it? The release, it was right, part 2?
Yeah.
They have a part 2 coming out?
It's released now?
Yeah, that doesn't look good.
I lost interest. Okay, I watched it when I was 5 years old for the first time, but I never watched the very end of it because it freaked me out. And had I watched the end of it, I wouldn't have been so freaked out by it because I thought it was kind of lame at the end, so I never saw the new one.
Well, it got big numbers at the box office this weekend, so they say.
Oh.
Huh, that'd be interesting.
It's no Fifth Element.
What's our weather like
Right.
for the next 5 days?
Brought to you by Mojave Skin and Cancer Clinic in Kingman, Lake Havasu, Bullhead City, and here in Laughlin. Give them a call or go on their website at mojaveskinandcancer.com. Here's your weather. Today we have a mostly sunny sky with a few clouds out. Winds from the south at 19 miles an hour with a high of 100 degrees. Tomorrow, winds pick up just a little bit to 20 miles per hour from the south, and the temperatures drop down to 98. On Wednesday, the temperatures continue to drop down to 95 with winds from the south at 10 miles an hour. On Thursday, winds switch directions to north-northwest at 9 miles an hour and 102 for the high and 107 for the high on Friday. I got us below 100 2 days. Can't ask for more. In the Maple Grove, we have a high of 69. 86 in Kansas City, Chicago at 75, Detroit will get up to 71, and Cincinnati will reach 86.
And once again, our 5-day weather is brought to you by Mojave Skin and Cancer. Yes, I'm not going to complain about the midweek temperatures, and I think that summer, it happens, right? You have one last hurrah. I think next weekend's going to be it.
I do too, and I hope it's then we call it good for the summer.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you, Chad.
Anytime.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
And thank you all. We will see you back here tomorrow with Tri-State News and all of that fun stuff. You have a great day.
Today's morning show has been brought to you by
At Golden Nugget Laughlin. Experience a new kind of reward. Sign up for the 24 Karat Select Club today.
The preceding presentation of the morning show is intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the show without the express written consent of TV2 KLBC is strictly prohibited.
The Boys and Girls Club of the Colorado River encourages you to donate local, Shop local and support local at the club's thrift store in Bullhead City. Donate your gently used items. Shop at the thrift store for great bargains to support programs for our local youth. It's that easy. Also, volunteers are always needed. The Boys and Girls Club of the Colorado River. Great futures start here.
Have you been thinking about relocating your existing business or even starting a new business? Laughlin Town Center is now under new ownership. Suites are available from 800 to over 2,000 square feet. The Laughlin Town Center is adjacent to the Needles Highway. An abundance of potential customers driving by every day, and there's plenty of parking along with well-manicured trees and shrubs surrounding the property. An absolutely awesome opportunity for your future. Call Mary Ellen Viraldi at 702-298-6542.